Well, hello everybody. Glad to have you here. If you want to follow along this morning, we will be back in the book of Proverbs in the 11th chapter. Proverbs verse 11, verse 20. Beginning there, and we're going to continue to look as Solomon shares with us the difference in a wise man and a foolish man. And so we'll begin verse 20 today and starting there. And where Solomon says these words, they that are of a froward heart are an abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. And one of the things, and I really should have mentioned this earlier, is often when we look at these contrasts that Solomon uses, when he gives us the wise man, then we look at if we have any problem really getting a picture and understanding of what the wise man is, we look at the second half of the verse and see then the unwise man, and we by the negative, we have a good understanding then of what the wise man does. And so as we look at this one, we learn something that should be very important to us, and that is that God Himself is pleased with the life of a righteous man, a man who lives by his wisdom, by God's wisdom, and he despises, he says, the wicked heart. Two great, two opposite ends of the spectrum. That the wicked heart is an abomination. God hates the perverse life, but the righteous are His delight. And so we see this massive gap between God's opinion of a person who is living according to righteousness and wisdom, and a person who chooses, again, to govern their life and to live their life according to man's wisdom, or ultimately wickedness. Verse 21, he says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. And so again, we have this contrast where we see two extremes. The wicked, he says, they will be punished. They're not going to go unpunished, but the righteous shall be delivered. And again, this is a very straightforward message to two groups of people that we should take to heart. One, and both sides of these two extremes, both extremes need to hear. I hope I said that right. The wicked need to understand. It may look right now like, man, I'm having the time of my life. I'm getting away with this. No God, He doesn't care. You will be punished. Same thing for the righteous. Sometimes even the righteous look at the world and look at the way they live and think, what in the world's going on? It seems like they get away with everything and have no trouble. God says to the righteous man, you let me take care of the wicked, they will be judged. The other side of that is, he says to the righteous, they shall be delivered. To the wicked man, this statement says you need to join the righteous because they're going to be blessed, they're going to be rewarded. To the righteous man, that statement says, yeah, life may be hard right now, life may be difficult, you may not understand everything that is happening and why it's happening, but the righteous man will eventually be rewarded. And so everybody needs to know the rules of the game, how score is kept, that ultimately the unrighteous, the wicked, will be judged, they will be punished, and the righteous will be rewarded. Then verse 22 is almost comical. Solomon says, some of you if you got a good imagination, you can probably picture this. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. What a what a picture! He basically says, I don't care how pretty the woman is, if she's wicked, if she doesn't have righteousness, if she doesn't have God's wisdom, she's like a pig with a ring in its nose. You just and for these people, the audience then, this would have been particularly relevant because the pigs were considered the most unclean animal in Israel. And to see a beautiful golden ring put in that unclean animal's nose was a joke. Was just made no sense. And the same thing here. And you could take this verse and take out the female side of it. Same thing's true of a man. Okay, how good looking a man he is, if he has no morals, if he doesn't live for God, if he has no righteousness, those good looks are wasted. They're like a gold ring. They're like putting jewelry on a pig. And so that's something we need to be teaching our young people as well. Is what's really important. We live in a society, we live in a culture that is just fascinated with good looks. We need to be teaching our young people. We need to be showing them that what really matters is righteousness and living by the wisdom of God. And then verse 23, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. The righteous man, his goals, his plans, they ultimately lead to good, whereas the wicked man, his plans, his goals ultimately lead to destruction. And what we have in this section of Proverbs is a group of proverbs that of various statements, but they all show one thing, and that is really what's in the heart is what's important. And what's in the heart eventually comes out in a man's choice and in a man's lifestyle. And what an important lesson that we need to be reminded. Again, we're often, as we approach election season, we're often, adults are often fascinated by, just won over by a man with a smooth tongue. I mean, there's, studies been done showing about how a tall man has a better chance of being elected than a short man, and we're often all those kinds of things that we are fascinated with, and our young people are learning as well. But Solomon reminds us of the importance of the heart. You think about that today, and have a great day.